Police have arrested one person suspected of illegal mining in Bapong in the northwest. Residents there have been appealing for intervention, with illegal mining activities causing significant damage to homes and public infrastructure. Newzroom Afrika's Seboko tracking this story for us now for some time. Refilwe, and just given what you've uncovered so far in your own investigations here, an arrest was always on the cards.
Ensure arrest was always on the card, particularly with the heightened police presence that we have been seeing since that visit by senior police officials last week and the National Commissioner of the Police, Fanny Masemola, coming here. We have been told about the special task force officers that have been brought on the ground, investigating officers, among others, forensic officers as well, that have been brought here, and we understand that police as well being on the ground to monitoring what is happening. And like you indicated a couple of minutes ago, we saw one person being arrested here in Bapong linked to activities of illegal mining. I'm going to speak to Christopher from Macua. Thank you so much and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Maybe your reaction to that arrest that we saw, or the arrests that are being made with regards to illegal mining activities in Bapong.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we're very concerned that the police continues to arrest low-level operatives of this operation. It is very clear to us, speaking to the community and understanding some of the issues, that this is a highly organized process. It looks like they came in with a view to quickly take out as much as they can and then to leave, and that in the process they have corrupted a range of office bearers, including police, tribal authorities and councillors we know have been silent about these issues despite the community complaining about it. We're also very concerned that it appears that the police are not here at night. So at night, these guys are coming back, taking out what they want, and then in the morning they leave, and then in the day you see this heavy police presence as if it's a show that they're putting on. And it's, you got to question whether that is actually solving the problem or working towards a solution, because at night this community is extremely vulnerable, and we need the police here at night as well, not only during the day.
And what do you make about also, reports that some community members as well, they are a part of these because those that are allegedly selling their plots for these illegal mining activities, or those that are also benefiting from the proceeds that are being taken from here?
Look, we've said this before, that we think that, we're standing right next to Samanco mine. They've made billions in profits, and yet you can see the state of this community. It is a deep injustice that a community that lives on this wealth is not able to benefit from the wealth. So when hard-pressed communities are offered money, big amounts of money, to, then you understand that living in poverty is not easy. So, people are trying to earn a living, and when these opportunities arise, they are taking it. So on the one hand, we have sympathy with that, we understand. But on the other hand, there's a range of other community members here who simply just want to live in peace. And so the fact that the tribal council have not engaged this community to this day, they haven't called a community meeting, they haven't consulted this community to say what must be done, how can we move forward. And so it is clear that some of the headmen are selling plots to foreign individuals, we understand, and those individuals are then opening up these plots to mining. So there is a range of complicated issues here that needs attention, and a quick presence of police in the day is not going to solve the problem. There is a structural problem that needs to be resolved, including the fact that the mines that have drawn out billions of rands from this community and this land has not plowed it back into the land, and that's an injustice that must be corrected if we ever hope to solve the problem of illegal mining.
The issue of mining policy reviews?
Yes, absolutely. We have we've met with the Department of Mineral Resources last week, in which we discussed some of the issues around artisanal mining and the policies that need to be in place. We've again pointed out to the DMPR that the way that they're approaching this problem does not resolve it, because they want to imagine that this is just a problem of small-scale mining and that it will go away. We're saying that unless you fundamentally share the wealth with the communities, you're not going to solve the problem. You can't just enrich a few people and expect that the rest of the people must just eat dust and live in poverty. That is unacceptable. It is not a sustainable policy. And we're saying that if we look at other countries, other jurisdictions, they've protected their sovereign wealth and they've shared it with their communities. Why is South Africa different? We must stop this process of just selling our minerals and start the process of owning our minerals. That's where we will make a difference and where we will start to address the question of poverty and inequality. We've also said to them, if artisanal mining and small-scale mining is dealt with properly, we could generate over 1 million direct jobs and another 3 to 4 million cascading jobs that comes from that. So we can solve the unemployment problem in one foul swoop if we deal with this question correctly. But the way that our state is approaching this is not leading to solutions and is leading to conflict and situations like this.
And one other, question that still remains without an answer is where, the plants that are receiving these minerals that are coming here. Yes. But having been on the ground and seeing, the hills and the holes and yards that, even people are unable to drive in and out from, what do you make of what you're seeing there?
Well, it's absolutely horrendous. First of all, the state of the community, without the mining, just the state of the community living next to a multi-billion rand mining operation, that is already a problem. Then you add to this destruction that has been caused, the wanton destruction. The community tells me that this used to be a road through here, and now it's one big hole. So it's absolutely an unacceptable state of affairs. We need to address the problem, but the problem can only be addressed if the state starts to listen to the people. And the people are saying we cannot only eat dust. We must be part of the solution. Because imagine a situation. So this crazy situation started about 3 months ago, almost 4 months ago here. Had the tribal council or the councillors or the DMPR or even the mine called the community together and said, this is the situation, this is what's happening, how do we resolve it? I'm sure these people here would have been able to come up with solutions where they own it and will then be part of making sure that this destruction doesn't happen. But because people are excluded and we think that solutions are only going to be found in boardrooms, then we sit with this problem. The other critical thing that needs to be addressed is why Operation Vala Umgodi, which has probably now spent well over 1.5 billion rand, why we have not arrested kingpins. This is not a small artisanal mining operation. This is small-scale mining illegally. So there is a clear syndicate that operates. There is a hierarchy of leadership here and control. So the question is, why is nobody being arrested at that end? Because forensically, you can quickly get where these machines come from, where these diggers come from, who's been bringing in the people. So there are ways and means for police to be able to find these answers, but we have to question why. We raised this question with regards to the Northwest particularly. It was mentioned in the Madlanga Commission that there are criminal syndicates who have an ear at the highest levels, up to the Minister of Police. They've had meetings in his private residence with regards to what happened at Stilfontein. So the question is, why is nobody asking that question? One, the minister is implicated. We're arresting no kingpins. 1.5 billion rand has been spent on what? We don't know. So if we're worried about corruption, about making sure that our country works, why is nobody asking those questions? 1.5 billion rand just gone up in air and no kingpins arrested. 93 people dead directly as a result of police action. So there are certain questions which one would like to be answered, but our politicians are not. We wrote to Parliament, asked them to ask those questions. We wrote to the Madlanga Mission, we asked them to ask those questions. Nothing's happening. So hopefully the media and the public can make sure that those questions are asked.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Christopher from Macua there, so pointing out quite a couple of things, Michelle, some of the unanswered questions that they have, but also the public in general also have, that why is it that there should be an operation like this one that seems to be well-funded, a syndicate as well, particularly with such big machineries that we are seeing here on the ground, but also billions of rands that are being spent on these operations to curb lawlessness and illegal mining activities. But to this day, there are still answers that remains, or rather questions, Michelle, that remains unanswered.
Refuwa Seboko is live to us there in Bapong.